Right, so when doing the fuel tank, I dropped the camera, or it fell off its tripod fell over, and it seems that the lens took the brunt of it. This bit's not meant to be able to go in and out by hand, and I presume it's not meant to wiggle like this either. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it apart and see if we can fix it. I wiped everything down, made everything as clean as I can. There's going to be dust in here anyway because of having it in the workshop when sanding and stuff. So we're going to clean it as well, which is what all this bit's for. But we're going to try and take it apart very methodically and work from the back to the front. And to do that, I got this little thing off Amazon, and so far I can highly recommend it. It's got a nice aluminium case, but it's got all the tiny screwdriver bits you could possibly need and a little screwdriver holder. Because I didn't have a screwdriver small enough for this, because this is really delicate stuff for me to do. So we are going to try and take this apart. I'm going to take these 4 screws out the back first. So if this is recoverable, we'll obviously use it again. But if it's not recoverable, how do you guys think you would like to watch me try and embed this as an exploded view in a block of resin? As like a lamp or an artsy thing to have on the desk. Because I've been wondering, I think it'd be quite cool to do. So in here, there should be a little ribbon cable in here, and we need to pop it out of there. So I probably should have got like a pair of tweezers or something for this. There's a little black thingy there, and then you can just grab hold of this and just give it a little pull and it pops out. We're going to undo all the ribbon cables first by flicking up the little black tab on the connectors. Like these little bits. So there's little black little hingy bits on the ribbon cables that allows them to come out. Holding the circuit board in is these little rubber circles, little spacer thingies. So we're going to get them there. Next we're going to take out these 4 screws here, these black ones. Oh, I should have bought some tweezers. This is very delicate for me. Oh, there's that circuit board out. So let's take out this little motor here. Unscrew here. Like that. And then this motor, it's got a little ribbon cable. So this motor has a ribbon cable that goes in under this little metal washer here. And we're just going to undo that. Like that. And put that over there with that one. And then that looks like that should come out now. go. Aha. That's one. So you need to squeeze the outer ring to make it slightly oblong so that you can unpop the little guides that are on the sides of it, and that way you can remove the middle part. So whenever it first broke, I quickly took a couple of pieces off, this bit in particular, just to see if I could click it back together or how bad it was. I couldn't find out how bad it was, so I decided not to touch it until I could do a video on it. And this piece of plastic fell out. Here, it fell off the back of this ring. Hopefully the light will let you see. And the focus, come on. So it should be there, it should be like that one there. Ah, you're glued, okay. So that ribbon cable is just glued on, which allows us to put this out the way. So, don't have a brush small enough for the glue, but what we do have, mine has. So, where is it? There it is. There's the broken bit. There's the bit that's got to go back, which is upside down at the minute. I'm going to squidge some glue on here, like one drop. I'm just going to use this pencil tip because it's nice and fine. And then put that at the bottom there. Make sure everything's nice and securely held. Glue that there. Try not to glue the pencil to anything now. Oh, tweezers would have been an immense idea. Yeah, they can go on the shopping list for next time. So, I don't want to get paint in that, glue in that. I'm just going to use an X-Acto blade. So this should be flat. And it's that one. So we're going to put it on the table and just press lightly, kick the glue off. Like that. Cool, and we're going to leave that to go off for 5 minutes. It doesn't take 5 minutes to go off, but just for peace of mind before I start filing it. And in the meantime, we're going to start cleaning parts because it's filthy. Right, so to do the cleaning of all this, new one of these, microfiber cloth thing. And I want a dry one and a wet one. Perfectly straight, of course. Right, and then this. So this is isopropyl alcohol, 99%, 0.9. So we're going to mix 5 ml of this. Like that. And in this cup there is distilled water. I didn't buy it. It's water out of a dehumidifier. So it's water that's been condensated out of the air, which means there'll be very few particles and no extra chemicals in it. It will just be from water moisture. So we've got that now. And I'm just going to pop it on the lid here because there's a very small amount. And I'm going to suck the whole lot up and then mix it back together and do that a couple of times. And that way you're just ensuring that it is all properly mixed. So somewhere in this tub is a bit of moisture. And we're just going to give everything a little wipe and a clean. Not just the lens itself, but everything. I'm not going to bore you with this bit on the video. We'll just do this one. And you can see that the lens is indeed slightly cleaner. Or at least improved. So as you can see, one of these corners, it was a little bit mucky in there, so worth having a bit of a clean. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this is the ring that was broken, and you can see the little repair I've done here with the smallest amount of super glue, but now that little clip is as strong as ever, and we've just got to make sure that it's flat because it's all quite fine tolerances in here, and so we just want to make sure that this bit that's raised is flat to either side of it. So we're just going to take a couple of little passes over it to make sure it is at the right level. So now the next thing to do is to put this back, hopefully the way it came out. So if you notice here, this is the point where the ribbon cable came out, because it's got these two little pips there and there. So when we put it back on here, we just need to make sure that the ribbon cable goes in that location there. Like that. This next bit of getting this lot together is the hardest bit I found, at least so far. So this should all go together. Got the ring we fixed, got all that lot on, and then this should be all flat and stuff. So the next bit, this bit needs to pop out slightly to there. So you can see this tab's in line with that. But also, more importantly, if you look in here, there's a round recess and a rectangular recess. And you've got a round and a rectangle. And you've got to get those so that these tabs fit into the slots, leaving these above these items. So the round one's this side, the round one's this side, and then that goes in there like that into those three slots. Okay, so round one, that goes in there. Those particular three, if you try any of the others, it won't fit, it won't shut properly. There's a bit of advice that's missing off some of the other YouTube videos that I watched online. And so you got that. This metal pip wants to go into this slot here. So you then rotate it like this. And then turn it the other way up. Ooh. And it should go together. It won't go together because I rotated the ring accidentally, so these squares have to be above those pips. And just when I didn't want it to, my audio cut out. So thus it just clicked into place and it pushes in, and it should all go nice together, nice and flush. So the next bit before my audio returns from the video is getting the outer ring back on, and that's a case of lining up the ribbon cable with the connector on the circuit board, because this piece doesn't turn as it goes around, it just slides in and out. So you have to get the slots lined up again with the right one like this, and then you have to squeeze it to make it oblong to get the little pips to go in, and it takes a little bit more force than most people would be comfortable with applying, but it's presses together. So the next bit to get in is the motor, and before you put it in you need to remember that you've got to get the little flappy connector in as well. There we go, and we can screw that back in. So as per our system, we've got this one and this one is for this ribbon cable, and then there's this one and this one to hold the two bits of the motor in. So we're going to do the motor ones first. We then need to get the retaining plate and its little screw in place. So on my retaining plate there's a little ink mark which implies the top. So we're going to mine the top ribbon cable out of the way, pop this in place. There's a little pip that goes in the smaller of the holes, and that allows it to locate to the right place so that you can steadily shake a screw into the right hole. 4 screws go around this edge and attach into the ring that we fixed. They're all the same size, at least by looking at them. And again, we're going to put them all in loosely, so within a turn of them being fully done up. And then once we've got them all in, we will go round and tighten them all evenly. So that's all 4 in, and then we go back to the first one and tighten it up. You don't have to really crank on these, you just want them to go down and be fully bedded in. Okay, so that is all the camera bits. It doesn't pull out anymore, which it didn't do before, or it did do before and it shouldn't have done. So the next bit to do is to get this circuit board back in, making sure all the little black flaps are up. It's easier to do that now than it is later. There's none that go on the back, so that's the downside. The side that faces down rather than the downside of the thing. And you just got to wiggle it in enough in here to make sure all of these little cables end up on top. And try not to put the screwdriver into anything important. So the circuit board sits down the 3 locating pins, and then you can get your little ribbon cables, and with a little bit of a help from something pointy, again tweezers or something would be better for this, pop that in. You don't need to put them with excess force. Snap the little thingy down. Okay, so this circuit board is held down by these 3 little rubber rings, and they just slip over the locating pips. Again, they can be a little bit of a challenge, but if you pop them on the end of your screwdriver and put it on a pip like this, and then you can just use a fingernail to slide it over. So the last little bit is this ribbon cable, and when it's folded down, it folds that way, so it goes in the back of this connector. And this is probably one of the hardest ones to get in, for me anyway. Pop the little flap over, which locks it into place, like that. Make sure you don't crimp any of the other ribbon cables in the thing, like this. And then screw the screws in. Get these last 4 screws in, and then hopefully we'll be cutting to some footage of the other lens. And then that's it. And if you notice, this doesn't pull out anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap the lenses over and see if the camera recognises it again. Cool. And this is footage of the lens I used for filming the rest of the video. It's exactly the same one, but the camera at least recognises the broken lens now. So this is going to become the indoor non-workshop outside with the Land Rover lens, and the ones that was broken is now going to live in the workshop. Well, not live there, but live on the camera for whenever we're out there doing mucky jobs. And that's all done.